History
He's got the eye of the champ! Oh my God!
is written by the winners.
Wait a minute! Johnny Gargano!
A history where one moment
What the hell?
can forever change its course.
Johnny Gargano's obsession with Tommaso Ciampa cost Aleister Black the NXT Championship.
It is a history with a promise of redemption.
The NXT Championship will now be decided in a triple threat match.
Can be stolen in the blink of an eye.
What you gonna do when there's blood in the water?
But when the legacy of a champion is victory through corruption, how can the noble triumph in the face of evil? As the devious declare their power through hubris,
If you're lucky, you may be able to bask in the experience.
how can the tormented
Kyrie, I have killer instinct. You don't.
excel amidst the wicked?
Ricochet is not special. Adam Cole is special. And the Undisputed Era continues to prove our dominance over this entire NXT roster.
The time for talking has ceased. The time to fight has come.
I know it.
Adam Cole. He is hiding behind that title.
You know it.
It's not about tricks up your sleeve. That's what Undisputed Era use.
You're looking at the next North American champion.
Did you see what happened at the Royal Albert Hall? It's the same thing's gonna happen at TakeOver.
I will beat you.
All it takes is one moment to turn the tide.
In Brooklyn, on NXT's grandest stage, which superstars will make history?
This is my NXT now!
The only reason you're NXT champion is because of me.
Once again, Johnny Gargano loses, and I win.
This is not your NXT. Now while I'm still breathing.
And now, WWE Network presents NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4.
It's SummerSlam weekend, and the action is going to be hotter than a day at the beach. The ocean of talent in NXT is deeper than Mariana Trench, and we're set for an evening of trench warfare. It's all about grudges and gold at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4.
A sellout crowd of 14,676 at the Barclays Center.
And guys, we aren't going to waste any more time because the first of our 4 championship matches starts right now.
Is for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Making their way to the ring, they are the NXT Tag Team Champions, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, the Undisputed Era.
The summer of sleaze continues for the Undisputed Era. They have joined the Revival as the only 2-time NXT Tag Team Champions in what was an instant classic against the upstart Mustache Mountain.
Mustache Mountain pushed these guys to the very limit. But of course, he had to throw in the towel to save his boy. He had no choice. He didn't want to see Trent Seven, his mentor, his friend, get hurt.
Undisputed Era, cocky, self-assured. They've got a swagger as champions that you don't see with many other champions. I talked to Strong earlier. He said he feels that Mountain got lucky when they beat the Era for the titles in England. It won't happen again.
And their challengers, Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, Mustache
Talk about a bond. Trent Seven trained Tyler Bate. Together, they have forged a successful tandem as Mustache Mountain, culminating with the biggest moment of their partnership at Royal Albert Hall in their native England in London when they shocked the system by becoming NXT Tag Team Champions. But then, well, you talk about the bond, Nigel. Tyler Bate in the rematch had to throw in the towel to save his mentor.
Well, from the very highs to the very lows, losing those tag team titles on the very first defense, your heart's got to go out to the plucky, authentic battlers from England. I talked to them earlier, they said they realise they're underdogs, but they feel that gives them an advantage, because once they start doing better than the Undisputed Era expect, it's going to cause the Era to lose their cool and make a mistake. We'll see whether that happens.
What a way to kick off NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4. Remember, it was last year at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 where the Undisputed Era really made its mark, signaling the arrival of a dominant group, the Capricious Collective, led by Adam Cole, who we will see defend the NXT North American title later tonight against Ricochet, but it's Trent Seven. And Roderick Strong wiped out Bate, and now with that right hand, Cold Cock Seven. Quick start by the UE.
See the way the Undisputed Era there distracted Trent Seven to allow Roderick Strong to get the offense in.
This is a smart move by Undisputed Era, starting things off hot, taking it right to Mustache Mountain.
Era acted like velociraptors.
Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. Oh, reversal by Mustache Mountain. And a momentary standoff. And now we've got a slugfest to kick off this NXT Tag Team title confrontation.
Yeah.
The feint and the sucker punches from Bate and Seven. No feeling out process whatsoever.
Action all over.
A rivalry reminiscent of the classic battles between the Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express, the British Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation. Roderick Strong, originally trained by the late great Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and we send our condolences to the Hart family as Mustache Mountain continues their onslaught. Bate with the cover. O'Reilly able to kick out. Wow.
After a bit of a full start from the Mustache Mountain, they've done very well. Wait a second. I spoke too soon.
Roundhouse kick by O'Reilly. Tag is made, and in comes the Messiah of the backbreaker, but he gets lifted by Bate and slammed to the canvas. Dueling champs for these two ultra-talented tag teams. Seven with the cover and the kick out by Strong.
Mustache Mountain did not like how the last title matchup went down. You better believe tonight they're coming for it all. They're not going to stop this time.
Oh, what a vicious right hand by Trent Seven. And there's the backbreaker from Roderick Strong. Many pundits predicting that this NXT Tag Team title match would steal the show. I think that can be said for every match on this incredible card. And there's the martial artist, the Muay Thai training of Kyle O'Reilly on display with the Thai plum, the knee strikes, culminating with a roundhouse kick to the neck of Trent Seven.
That's something Mustache Mountain's going to have to watch out for, that striking ability of Kyle O'Reilly.
What a cohesive tandem. Strong and O'Reilly have become, keeping Trent Seven isolated in their corner.
And if they are going to pick a member of Mustache Mountain to keep in their corner, you would probably have to choose Trent Seven, because let's talk about the elephant in the room, that knee brace on the left knee.
Diving knee drop and the cover by O'Reilly.
Of course, was the reason why Tyler Bate threw in the towel when they relinquished those titles.
Bate did not want to risk disqualification, wanted to live to fight another day, and that day is now. It's Mustache Mountain here on the biggest stage in Brooklyn at NXT TakeOver. One of a kind, two-time NXT Tag Team Champions, and there's an opportunity. Tyler Bate with the run-on. Strong.
Okay.
Drop kick.
Bate with a beautiful gymnastic background, putting it to use. Oh,
wow. Oh, and a diving European uppercut out of the corner by Bate on O'Reilly.
Mustache Mountain's on fire here tonight. I like it.
Tag was made, and Roderick Strong is the legal man, but look at
Tyler here we
Bate.
go.
Tyler Bate, strength on display.
Are you kidding? Check him out.
And Strong putting the boots to the face of Bate, and now the sleeper being employed by O'Reilly on Bate.
But Bate's still going for it. Check him out. Look at him.
Incredible show of strength by textbook Tyler Bate.
That's just straight fortitude and heart on display by Tyler Bate.
Strong explodes out of the corner with a lethal lariat that stops Bate dead in his tracks.
Not sure what Bate had in his mind. It didn't matter because, boy, Roderick Strong cut him off at the pass.
Take a look at this. Tyler Bate going corner to corner, but Roderick Strong changed his mind. He had other plans.
Kyle O'Reilly, a tag team specialist, targeting the left arm of Tyler Bate, has him in a hammerlock, clubbing forearm and driving a knee to the rib cage, and O'Reilly, perpetual motion. And it's punishing motion, Marshall.
Palm strikes now, knee on belly, just controlling Bate.
It's all about controlling the pace right here.
You got to think whoever wins the match tonight and leaves as the tag team champions, somewhere the War Raiders are waiting in the rings.
Oh, Strong looking to light up Bate like the Perseid meteor shower, and boy, these four meteors in their own right is now the Undisputed Era, taking it to Tyler Bate. Tandem offense, back press, hooks both legs, and yet Bate able to slip out before the count of three.
And guys, keep in mind, take a look at the quickness in which Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong are tagging in and out, keeping themselves fresh.
Body scissors employed by O'Reilly, looking to employ the crossface, being blocked adroitly thus far by Bate. Tag is made, and it's been all Undisputed Era controlling this NXT Tag Team Championship match.
Tyler! Fight me!
The Era certainly seem to have had the majority of the offense thus far. Look at that, just brute strength from
Roderick
Strong.
Strong living up to his surname.
The gory especial, the gory stretch.
All that pressure on the spine of Tyler Bate. This cannot be good. He's going to be feeling this.
Named after the legendary luchador Gory Guerrero.
Could be looking for a submission. Could also try a pinfall attempt if he elects. Just making Bate think about it now.
Tyler Bate trying to manage to escape, does so, and sends Strong into the turnbuckle, but fortuitously, O'Reilly able to make the tag. Yeah! Shitbuster by O'Reilly on Bate. Ooh. Oh, and just kicks that left leg out from under Tyler Bate as O'Reilly again.
Heel hook.
Systematic breakdown of Tyler Bate.
Focusing on the cruciate ligaments of Bate. Bate actually tweaked that knee earlier in the match, and the Undisputed Era obviously aware of that, and are now focusing on the injured body part.
Quick tags made by O'Reilly and Strong as they continue to wear down Tyler Bate. Lightning quick tags from the defending NXT Tag Team Champions.
Era just trying to prove exactly how dominant they are. They're trying to embarrass Mustache Mountain. They feel like their one title run was a fluke.
Undisputed Era.
Whoa!
Flag here in Brooklyn as Tyler Bate launches Strong over the top rope to the outside. And that window of opportunity to get to his corner has been opened, but just a crack, and Strong is still momentarily, that is.
Bate getting closer.
Bate's taking a lot of punishment. He's inching his way over to his partner. Can't get there. Whoa!
Bate using O'Reilly's momentum
5
to
feet
launch
away.
O'Reilly over the top rope.
Surely.
And Strong desperately trying to keep Tyler Bate from making the tag to Trent Seven. Oh, but O'Reilly. Oh, wow, what a counter right hand by Trent Seven.
Seven's up. He has the tag rope.
Can he get it?
David's up tag.
Here we go.
In comes the Don, Trent Seven. Back body drop by Seven on Strong.
Take out Trent Seven.
Suicida
He is
by
on.
Seven.
He is on a whole another level here tonight. He didn't forget the era tried to end his career.
Mustache Mountain want to climb that mountain one more time in the NXT Tag Team Division. Corner clotheslines by Seven.
Great awareness from Seven.
Show of strength by Trent Seven. Dragon release suplex.
God.
And it's all Mustache Mountain. Cover.
Here we go.
Oh. Almost a 3 count there for Seven Strong. Barely kicked out.
What an incredible showing from Trent Seven to be able to change the momentum of this match 180 degrees.
Look, they may have not gotten that pinfall right there, but if Mustache Mountain keeps this type of performance up, they will leave Brooklyn the tag team champions.
NXT Universe showing its approbation for these 4 sports
Here
entertainment
comes-
scientists. Counter left by Strong, back elbow by Strong, drop Seven to one knee.
Seven was looking for that 7-star lariat.
Tag was made. Brainbuster by Kyle O'Reilly on Seven. Will it be good enough for a 3?
No.
Seven's gonna have to dig deep now.
And this opening match at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 quickly becoming a war of attrition between 2 of the top tag teams on the planet vying for the top prize in the tag team division. In NXT, flying forearm by O'Reilly.
And it's stiff knees to the jaw. Trent Seven by both Roderick Strong and O'Reilly.
Oh! Olympic slam there by Strong, the cover. And Seven just barely escapes. Both teams have had their moments, Nigel.
We've seen here absolutely the tenacity from both teams in this match, but right now it's Seven who has to dig deep. That intestinal fortitude, what does he have left?
Oh! Rolling combo kick out of nowhere by Bate. Oh! Then he gets planted by Roderick Strong. Oh, and the spinning back fist by Trent Seven wipes out O'Reilly.
Turning it into the stronghold. Look at Strong trying to sit deeper.
Yeah, he doesn't have him turned all the way as Seven trying to desperately stave off this potential submission.
Seven keeping the arm.
Look at O'Reilly.
Triangle as well from O'Reilly.
Flying triangle attempt by the mixed martial arts trained Kyle O'Reilly.
Oh, this could be over right here.
But
look at the power of Bate. Hold on.
Wow, with one arm, Tyler Bate sends O'Reilly crashing into Strong. Are you kidding me?
Look at the incredible strength and the ring awareness of Bate to break up that submission attempt.
Stand up and cheer these 2 preternaturally talented tag teams, putting it all on the line for the NXT Tag Team titles. Tyler Bate makes the tag.
And now the strikes coming in.
Oh!
Oh!
Hold on.
Bates power down. Suplex into Roderick Strong.
Hold on, he's not done.
What a dive by Tyler Bate. What through on the Undisputed Era.
This could be it.
This is what it's all about,
Sailed
fellas.
over the top rope.
If he hits this, that's it. New champs.
Strong kicks out. And the look of shock written all over the face of Tyler Bate.
Take a look at Tyler Bate, taken to the skies. The title's on the line, doing whatever it takes to wipe out Undisputed Era.
Oh, it was Bates' ability here to turn things around from a different angle and to maintain his advantage. Look here, using the ropes, wham, to get back on top with Roderick Strong.
Inaugural WWE United Kingdom champion, former NXT Tag Team champion Tyler Bate has done it all, and he's just barely in his 20s. A prodigy of sports entertainment who is now on the verge of becoming a two-time NXT Tag Team champion. Strong says not so fast. Strong on the second turnbuckle.
Roderick Strong aggressively trying to yank Bate off the top.
Oh, but it's Bate with a series of back elbows that sends Strong crashing to the canvas.
Oh!
And there's Kyle O'Reilly.
The left shin, or perhaps it was the knee. Tweaked the knee again. That left knee was injured before. It's certainly injured now.
Oh! The injury exacerbated by the attack of Kyle O'Reilly now in Roderick Strong, and O'Reilly wipes out Trent Seven. Right hand by Bate.
He's got a lot of fight left in him, but oh no!
Imanari roll by O'Reilly into that inside heel hook.
The torque on the cruciate ligaments of the left knee has got to be agonizing.
And it's that injured left leg of Tyler Bate. Trent Seven desperately wants to get into this matchup. Remember the Undisputed Era. Battered and bruised.
Just
the injured leg of Seven.
There's the injured leg of Bate we're looking at now.
Yep.
The torque. Just look at the ankle, the angle of that ankle.
Look at this! Roderick Strong, come on!
Wily veteran Roderick Strong taking advantage of the moment afforded to him. Dragging O'Reilly and Bate closer to the Undisputed Era's corner, and Seven is going to him. Oh, wow, wait a minute.
No!
Wait, not again.
Remember, we saw Tyler Bate throw the towel into St. Trent Seven. Are we going to see a case of deja vu here in Brooklyn?
Trent Seven cannot believe this is happening again.
Throws a towel into the crowd, imploring his partner to keep fighting. But Bate willing himself to his corner.
He's digging.
The intestinal fortitude of Tyler Bate on display. Showcasing his mettle, his drive, his determination to stay alive.
He's right there.
The tag has been made.
Oh! These strikes are coming with everything. Hold on.
Stars lariat by Seven. Will we have new NXT Tag Team champions? Almost.
Get him right.
But there's the tag to Bate. Mustache Mountain. Keep moving.
That's the type of belief that Trent Seven has in his partner, Tyler Bate. Here we go.
Matchup, and Roderick Strong now scaling the turnbuckles.
Here it is.
Tyler Bate on the top.
Here we go.
Burning Hammer.
Tyler O'Reilly's out.
Nation. Knee drop, Burning Hammer. O'Reilly kicks out. O'Reilly somehow was able to kick out. Barclays Center erupting like a volcano. Mustache Mountain was one count away from joining Undisputed Era in the Revival as two-time NXT Tag Team champs.
Bate can barely stand.
Trent Seven, full Nelson on O'Reilly. And Bate having issues with the leg and gets clipped with that jumping knee strike from Roderick Strong in the spinning back.
No!
Chop block by O'Reilly on Seven. High low.
No!
Undisputed Era retain the tag team titles.
Your winner, and still NXT Tag Team Champions, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong.
It was a raucous rubber match. Both teams on the verge of victory, but in the end, Roderick Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly defend the gold for the Undisputed Era.
What an incredible matchup between these two teams. And we're just getting started.
A tag team trilogy that will go down in the annals of NXT history.
Well, Mustache Mountain didn't get the victory here. They won't be leaving as the champions. But one thing they can do is leave with their head held high. There is no way it was a fluke the first time. They proved they are worthy of being champions, even if tonight they don't.
It was a heck of a back and forth battle between two great tag teams right here. But it was just too much. I still can't understand how in the world Kyle O'Reilly was able to kick out of that maneuver.
Here the Undisputed Era showing why they are the tag team champions. Oh! You see the way Roderick Strong waited for the right moment to take the opportunity. And then followed up here. High-low. Oh! Double your money. It was enough to secure the victory for the Undisputed Era.
Your winner, and still
wait a second!
The War Raiders! Rowan Hansen laying waste to the Undisputed Era. They have made their intentions clear.
Oh my God!
They're gunning for the NXT Tag Team Championships.
Viking destruction!
These two berserkers, the modern-day Vikings, War Raiders, making it clear here and proven that they have the NXT Tag Team titles in their sinister sights. Total destruction, courtesy of the War Raiders, as they spoil Undisputed Era's victory celebration.
Hey, good luck stopping these two. You're talking about destruction and devastation. That's it right here. Take a look. They are here to make an impact.
And the impact there, Percy. Following it up quickly.
Talking about making a statement, they did just that here tonight. The War Raiders are not messing around. They are coming for the NXT Tag Team titles.
The War Raiders, Bro and Hansen, have raided the NXT Tag Team division, and the division may never be the same.
The battle the world's been talking about.
Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. Brock is going to put down the big dog and go on to UFC and become a two-sport champion.
I don't give a crap about the WWE Universe.
This is my yard.
Roman claims he is the uncrowned champion.
This time, the story will end with me becoming champion.
Who will survive? The big dog, the beast, for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam.
Well, we know the identity of who attacked the Undisputed Era, the War Raiders. What we don't know is who attacked Aleister Black. He was supposed to be in our main event tonight in a triple threat match for the NXT Championship, but a mystery assailant attacked him at Full Sail Live. NXT General Manager William Regal has told us that an investigation continues, but we still do not know the identity of the person who attacked Aleister Black.
Switching gears now as we take a look at Johnny Gargano, the calm before the storm after everything that's gone on before. What is there left? Well, Gargano took to social media. He says anger, suffering, rage, hate. Tonight, we let it take over.
Guys, man, there is just not enough spotlight for these two competitors. Tonight, one of these stars will shine bright. Will it be Dream over when EC3 battles Velveteen Dream here tonight?
Velveteen Dream.
D-R-E-A-M-E.
Ambiance. Atmosphere. Illumination. Experience.
Velveteen Dream, talk about a meteoric rise.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? The Dream can still hear the people buzzing about what the next experience is gonna be.
EC3 changing the game.
EC3 equals the formula for success.
Velveteen Dream, you claimed the people were buzzing about what the next experience could be.
EC3?
That experience could have been EC Dream.
We are about to see a dream tag team.
Royal Albert Hall?
Velveteen Dream walked out on EC3.
The Dream has no memory of that.
What do I think of the Dream's world? It's a waste of time.
Instead of basking in the experience, you made an enemy.
Whoa!
And take over Brooklyn, EC3. The Dream is going to embarrass you.
Two of the biggest superstars who refuse to share the spotlight. Oh boy! Ow!
Velveteen Dream will realize the only experience
worthy of the spotlight
is NX3.
Is Dream over?
Velveteen Dream.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Capitol Hill, Washington, D.C., weighing in at 227 pounds, the Velveteen Dream.
Here in Brooklyn, we say hello to the Velveteen Dream, who at the age of 22 is too young to have read up Word Up magazine, Percy. However, Velveteen Dream is on the cover of Velveteen Experience magazine. Stories include 7 secrets to getting the spotlight you deserve, and judging by his actions, he doesn't like to share the spotlight with anyone.
Not at all, especially knowing Velveteen Dream. And I need to read that magazine. Look, every takeover, this man steals the show. This man steals the spotlight. John Cena went even as far as to say that this is the next guy.
The Velveteen Dream star has certainly been on the rise here over the last year. He went from wanting one man to say his name to his name being on the lips of the entire NXT universe.
Outspoken superstars competed in each of the last 4 takeovers, and win or lose, arguably stole the show each time out. And no surprise, the #1 trend worldwide, NXT TakeOver, as we kick off SummerSlam weekend. check out his tights. It says, "Call me up, Vince."
am in the top
Not so subtle
1%.
message to the boss.
And that's what makes you just you and me, me. I'm in the top 1%. I'm in the top 1%. Born and bred for success, for fame, spending every top dollar I've read my name. I don't complicate, I can taste your shame.
And his opponent, from Palm Springs, Florida, weighing in at 231 pounds, EC3.
A guy who grew up on the street, Wall Street. This Wolf of Wall Street is the first proud EC3 who hyped up this match by saying it's the Purple Rainmaker versus NXT's Golden God. The one versus the top 1%. A Velveteen Dream versus a man-tanned nightmare.
Man was an absolute beast when he gets in the ring. I love watching EC3 operate. Velveteen Dream still a little hot. That EC3 tossed him in the pool.
The crazy rich American has found the Velveteen Dream to be as annoying as autocorrect. The top 1%er spells victory. EC3, Nigel.
Oh, but ultimately, fellas, both these superstars are cut from the same cloth. They're cocky, they're arrogant, they're spotlight hogs. Dream, if you will, is younger. EC3 has more experience. But ultimately, only one man will leave here with their name top billing.
Two superstars whose egos are IMAX size, but it's more than just pride. Both of them capable of becoming champion here in NXT. And once the bell rings, the ego, the pride has to be put to the side, although the gamesmanship, well, it always comes with the Velveteen Dream experience.
And speak. Oh, whoa!
As long as Dream doesn't start flossing, we'll be okay as EC3 will have none of the mind games. In fact, EC3 got into the mind of the Velveteen Dream at their unconventional summit. Remember, he threw Velveteen Dream into the pool, and both of these guys in the deep end of the NXT talent pool ready to showcase their wares. And it's on, collar and elbow tie-up. What do you look for early in this matchup, Nigel?
Strength advantage from EC3. Certainly one of the most powerful superstars on the brand, and again,
Whoa!
we're seeing it there.
The guy, he's tossing around the Velveteen Dream.
Velveteen Dream is not a small individual. 6'4", 240 pounds. And to be moved like that, that's impressive.
Velveteen Dream has some power of his own, but he normally utilizes his agility.
EC3 claims he has more money than Bruce Wayne, and while we can't confirm that, his opponents can confirm that he hits as hard as Giancarlo Stanton with a Batman, although it's Velveteen Dream now keeping that power at bay, neutralizing the left arm of EC3. Oh. Good reversal by the man who wants to rebrand the black and yellow brand NX3.
Knuckle lock controlling the Tula man. Oh, great extension.
There's a show of that strength we talk about.
EC3 taking his time. He said he'll play the games of Velveteen Dream, and he'll win. And he'll win victory after victory after victory.
Wow, EC3 manhandling Velveteen Dream in the early going. Top wrist lock being employed by EC3. The animosity between these two superstars began at the NXT UK Championship Special in London. Remember when Velveteen Dream abandoned EC3 midway through their Dream Tag Team match against Aleister Black and Ricochet.
Well, it's clear that Velveteen Dream doesn't play well with others. He's an individual both inside and outside the ring. Oh.
EC3 kicking Velveteen Dream into that stratosphere. Oh, EC3 just got crotched on that top rope.
Oh, no.
And EC3 now ensuring the more problems in the Garden of Good and Evil. Oh, what a right hand by EC3, and it's all EC3 here in the early going.
And another. Well, whatever the strategy Velveteen Dream had going into this match, it clearly wasn't effective.
Velveteen Dream now with the sunset flip attempt from the apron. And now EC3 busting out a few moves.
Look at Velveteen.
Dream comes off the ropes. Oh, and EC3 sends Dream crashing to the canvas.
EC3 had Velveteen Dream up for the 1%er.
Oh, and EC3 telegraphs the back body drop, eats a Velveteen Dream boot, scoop and a slam by EC3, managing to stay one. That is your name, EC3. He calls it the formula for success, and he's been successful thus far against the Velveteen Dream. Oh! Cactus clothesline over the top rope.
It's all about money with EC3 and raising his stock here tonight if he gets this win over the Velveteen Dream.
Cactus Jack would be proud of that EC3 maneuver as EC3 continues to toy with Velveteen Dream. Are you surprised, Nigel?
Well, absolutely not. I knew both these men had it in for each other as things looking to pick up some pace here.
Oh, reversal here by the Dream. Oh! Twisting DDT, face first, EC3 crashes on the ramp.
Did you hear the sound of that?
My God!
And this is where the spotlight just shifted right here. Velveteen Dream finding a way to turn things around to his advantage.
Twisting DDT on there.
Velveteen Dream with great ring presence, able to break the referee's count. Oh, and he smashes EC3 shoulder first into the ring post.
How is EC3 able to continue?
Velveteen Dream turning the tables with a turning, twisting DDT on the ramp.
That would have beaten anyone.
Covered by the Dream. And how did EC3 kick out? I mean, it's incredible how much punishment, especially, I mean, Nigel, you've been in sports entertainment for many years. You don't come back from a DDT like that.
Oh, in the middle now. Yeah, it's the incredible muscularity, Morrow, perhaps, of EC3's neck that protected against the impact of that DDT.
And Velveteen Dream hanging EC3 out to dry on the top rope.
Velveteen Dream says your money can't save you now. This is a fist fight.
Things have got personal now between these two superstars. Turning it up a notch with that DDT on outside.
And Velveteen Dream now has EC3 on the apron and just snaps his neck off the top rope.
Look how confident Velveteen Dream is, just methodically dragging EC3.
Swinging neck breaker into the lateral press, hooks the leg, EC3 kicks out. Two of the up and coming NXT superstars wanting to continue their climb here on NXT's grandest stage at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4. And Velveteen Dream beginning to work the injured neck of EC3.
Applying pressure to the injured neck, as you mentioned, Morrow. Version of a neck crank.
Oh! Forearm to the spine by Velveteen Dream, and EC3 is rattled, Percy.
Oh, man, EC3, Velveteen Dream, check him out.
Rude awakening, perhaps?
Oh, but it took too long.
Velveteen Dream's thinking about going right back to that neck. It would have been a smart move.
Here's that power advantage of EC3 on display.
Physique of EC3 like a Greek god.
Well countered, and there it is. Another neck breaker as Velveteen Dream continues to attack the injured part of EC3's anatomy and almost put him away.
What about lackadaisical cocky cover? I think perhaps Dream believes he can afford to have a little bit of fun at EC3's expense. I would disagree with that.
The mysterious yet intoxicating presence of Velveteen Dream.
One thing you don't want to do is toy with EC3. If you got him down, you better try and finish it. This is a man that can come back. Whoa!
And Velveteen Dream slamming EC3 into our broadcast location. Repeatedly smashing EC3's forehead into our table. Velveteen Dream telling EC3, you want to embarrass the Dream? Remember, at their unconventional summit, it was EC3 that threw Velveteen Dream into the drink. Well, Velveteen Dream has just thrown a drink into EC3's face. Ignominiously, EC3, though, back on his feet. Oh! And again, Velveteen Dream able to come up with a crucial counter.
That just ticked off EC3. Firing back in this match.
Exactly what I was talking about. That's exactly what I was referring to. You can't waste time when you're never EC3 because this is a tough, strong man. He's had wars in the ring before. He knows how to come back.
EC3 blocks the right hand from the Dream, does so again, uncorks a couple of rights of his own, but then Dream. Oh, but it's EC3's momentum out of the corner, exploding with a clothesline. Oh!
Top 1%!
The top 1% turning Velveteen Dream inside out with that right hand. Oh! Stinger splash in the corner by EC3. Rolling neck snap by EC3.
Now the top 1%ers strung a few moves together.
And EC3 showing Velveteen Dream he's not the only one with neck breakers in his playbook and looking for the 1%er. Oh, hold on. Roll up by Velveteen Dream for a 2 count. Oh, Velveteen Dream missing with the super kick by EC3. Again, EC3 blocks the kick from Velveteen Dream.
Oh! Face first into the mat. This could be
Hold on. Back press, hooks a leg, and somehow Velveteen Dream able to escape the pinfall attempt.
EC3 finding a way to stay just one step ahead of Velveteen Dream. Take a look right here. Nice counter move by EC3, planting Velveteen Dream into the mat.
Oh, and Velveteen Dream again unable to kick EC3, but manages to paintbrush him, and that will draw the ire of EC3.
Now the fury of EC3 unloading on the Dream.
EC3 emptying his fusillade of strikes.
He's unloading, but can he find a way to put away the Velveteen Dream tonight, though?
And Velveteen Dream attacking the throat of EC3, and Velveteen Dream scaling the turnbuckle. EC3 back on his feet.
Took way too
long. EC3 launches Velveteen Dream off the turnbuckle.
You see EC3 grabbing at his neck. This is unusual. We don't see EC3 go to the top rope very often. And there could be a reason for it.
The powerhouse on the top turnbuckle. Diving by the reversal. Handful of trucks, and Velveteen Dream still comes up with a 2 count.
EC3 just didn't get enough height on that crossbody.
What a slap across the face by EC3. Powerbomb. And Velveteen Dream feeling the full effects as he gets his spine realigned by the man who calls himself the baddest dude ever. And look at the power. EC3 set out powerbomb, shoulders down, and Velveteen Dream escapes.
But only barely.
Velveteen Dream is not trying to give in to EC3 here tonight.
And when it comes to power, poise, and athletic prowess, Percy, EC3 in a class of his own.
But even still, that was not enough to get the 3 count and get the victory here over the Velveteen Dream.
The hulking EC3 has a strong advantage in this match now.
Let's not forget Velveteen Dream still just 22 years of age. A prodigy. It's someone who is looking to continue his string of memorable takeover matches, but in tough against EC3, and they're both in a precarious position. Both wanting to climb up the proverbial ladder in NXT as they climb to the top turnbuckle.
Precarious.
Right here.
By EC3.
Well, look at EC3 grabbing the back of his neck. That was injured with a DDT earlier in the match.
And yet it looks as if Velveteen Dream got the worse for wear, and he's down for 2.
Well, EC3, falling from quite a height up there, landing hard on the back of his neck.
Can't really blame EC3. He had to do something new, something that Velveteen Dream wouldn't expect from EC3. But that was big, but it just wasn't big enough.
Which begs the question, Percy, what is big enough? We might see it here.
Firemen's carry on the apron. And Velveteen Dream lands back in the ring. Super kick by Velveteen Dream on EC3. Dream Valley Driver. Dream Valley Driver by the Velveteen Dream. Will this be enough? No!
That 1/2 a second Velveteen took to get the cover off of EC3. That might have cost him this victory right here.
And Velveteen Dream cannot believe it. EC3 able to kick out of the rolling Death Valley Driver. He calls the Dream Valley Driver, and we are all basking in the Velveteen Dream experience. Oh, but Velveteen Dream unable to get EC3 out. German suplex. And Dream again escapes, but you wonder what toll it took on EC3 landing on his neck like that.
Well, for the second time in the match, that DDT on the outside played a factor in this match. EC3 was unable to drive with his neck to get the full leverage with that German pinfall attempt.
And despite EC3 showing his power time and time again, it is that twisting DDT on the ramp that remains the most pivotal moment of this matchup. And yet EC3 now has Velveteen Dream on the apron.
Velveteen Dream could be in trouble. Wait.
Counter here by Velveteen.
No way.
Dream Valley Driver on the apron. Dream Valley Driver on the apron.
Again, the injured neck of EC3.
Velveteen Dream. This is what it sounds like when Velveteen Dream flies. Velveteen Dream vanquishing EC3.
The Velveteen Dream.
And that is what it sounds like when Velveteen Dream wins.
He may in fact be getting that call with a performance like that. Velveteen Dream staves off the attack of EC3 and is able to record another impressive victory. Bouncing back from the loss to Ricochet at TakeOver Chicago 2.
EC3 did his absolute best to try to get the momentum back in his favor, but the injury to the neck early in the match played too big of a factor in the match.
This was pretty much the beginning of the end here for EC3. Velveteen Dream just going to work with that Death Valley Driver. But yet and still EC3 was able to kick out of this one.
As the match would continue down to the wire though, it would be Velveteen Dream who would get the advantage back with a Dream Valley Driver on the apron. More damage to the neck, and following up with this.
Velveteen Dream going up top, X marks the spot, right to the heart of EC3. Velveteen Dream was looking for the spotlight. He sure did shine tonight here in Brooklyn.
EC3 put up a valiant effort, but was unable to notch his first TakeOver victory since arriving to NXT. Instead, he has been forced to bask in the Velveteen Dream experience.
Ronda Rousey has not forgotten what Alexa Bliss did to her in her championship opportunity in Money in the Bank.
Rousey is not supposed to be here. What is she doing?
Clearly you don't understand the difference between UFC and WWE. You overhyped rookie.
Your match with Alexa Bliss will be for the Raw Women's Championship at SummerSlam.
Ronda is ecstatic. Bliss is livid. That look in Ronda's eyes is never good.
Oh my God!
And a roundhouse kick and out the rights and lefts. Rousey is ready for Sunday.
You're listening to Blood Water by Grandson from the album A Modern Tragedy Volume 1, an NXT Loud theme song for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, available now on iTunes and Spotify.
New York City landmark, the Empire State Building. We are in the shadows of that impressive edifice here at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4. And guess what? The rich get richer. Another blue chip signing for the black and yellow brand. Former mixed martial artist. Well, a guy who's taken the sports entertainment world by storm. That is Matt Riddle.
Well, talking about taking the entertainment world by storm, since returning in January, Ciampa said two things are for certain. He is the master and Gargano is his puppet. We'll see who's pulling the strings tonight and who walks out of Brooklyn with the ultimate prize, the NXT Championship. It's Ciampa versus Gargano for the gold tonight.
But before that, Percy, two men collide for a different title. Champion Adam Cole said the challenger Ricochet isn't on his level. Ricochet said, "You're right, I'm on a higher level." Let's take a look back now at what led to this vertiginous contest.
How has the past year been for Adam Cole in NXT?
A seismic shift in the NXT landscape.
First ever NXT War Games matchup. Adam Cole won. First ever NXT North American champion. You're looking at him. Adam Cole cannot be stopped.
Let's go! We are the ones at the top of the mountain, climbed all the way up and never look down. Run with the right crowd that likes to rumble. Hold a nice crown, it's hard to be humble. We welcome you now to our arena. If you don't know by now, it's hard to beat us. They can say what they want. Only makes us stronger. Take us straight to the top. Use the hate to launch us.
Ricochet is bringing his brand of excitement to NXT.
I'm a guy who can do some things that not many, if anybody, can do. I'm going to change this industry forever. There's only one Ricochet, and I make it look good.
Every ounce of sweat with every breath, nothing less. Set it off. Get ready, get set, come on, set it off. Hold steady, we next, come on.
NXT TakeOver New Orleans. I had my hands on that championship, and Adam Cole found a way to steal it.
There are three types of superstars. There's good, there's great, and there's special. Ricochet is a good superstar. He might even be great. He's not special. Adam Cole is special.
It's not about being good. It's not about being great. It's not about being special. It's about being better. I think you're good, but you're hiding behind that championship.
Go ahead, leave. Just like the coward I thought you were.
I am a once-in-a-lifetime performer. The NXT North American Championship is a very special championship because of the man who holds it.
That title needs to be around the waist of somebody who will go out there each and every night and defend it with honor, with respect, and with the intention on making that the most important championship in NXT. And Adam Cole, he's failing at that.
When I beat the best Ricochet, I'll show the world that there's a better Adam Cole.
I promise you, it's only gonna hurt you even more whenever your name is wiped off that championship and replaced with Ricochet.
The following contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the NXT North American Championship. Introducing the challenger from Paducah, Kentucky, weighing in at 190 pounds, Ricochet!
Preeminent high flyer Ricochet, a chip off the old rock, the most electrifying man in NXT with skyscraper-sized skills in the squared circle, Percy. This guy can do it all.
Oh, without a doubt, we've seen him do it time and time again. This man has been working diligently for 15 years, and for him, this is what it's all about. A title opportunity. He has the shot of a lifetime right here in Brooklyn tonight.
Ricochet tweeted he used to eat leftovers out of the fridge. Nobody was famous where I live. That's quoting Drake on the Gucci Mane joint both. Well, Nigel, Ricochet is tweeting bars while raising the bar in the ring.
Is he ever? He has those golden wings on his back. But this man can fly with the best of them, like a world-class parkour practitioner. A real-life superhero, like something out of a Marvel movie.
Ricochet calling Adam Cole a coward, feels that the NXT North American champion has ducked him, and again, Undisputed Era blindsiding Ricochet recently on NXT TV. But it'll be one-on-one tonight.
Representing the Undisputed Era, he is the NXT North American Champion, Adam Cole!
Adam Cole pulls strings like Tom Morello, and the Undisputed Era is all about raging against the machine that is NXT. It was at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 1 year ago, where the UE planted its flag in NXT, and Adam Cole made his NXT debut. Well, he and the rest of the Undisputed Era have designs on running this town tonight.
Of course, it was Adam Cole who was leading that army of harmony, otherwise known as the Undisputed Era. Cole has that something that make men envy him and women adore him.
NXT TakeOver Brooklyn is presented by Mayans from Kurt Sutter, the creator of Sons of Anarchy. Mayans premieres Tuesday, September 4th on FX. Well, the Undisputed Era give a motorcycle gang a run for its money when it comes to its ruthless aggression.
Fellas, what a difference a year makes for Adam Cole in the Undisputed Era. Now NXT Tag Team Champions, Adam Cole, North American Champion. The gold vault is full, fellas.
The NXT North American Championship up for grabs. Two of the premier talents in NXT. Remember, at that sensational ladder match at NXT TakeOver New Orleans, it was both Ricochet and Adam Cole coming oh so close to becoming inaugural champion. Cole kept Ricochet from procuring the championship.
So Ricochet certainly has an axe to grind. It'll be interesting to see the effect that has on the risks that Ricochet is willing to take in this match.
Cole feels that he is on a completely different level than Ricochet. He goes so far as to say that Ricochet isn't special. Many in the NXT universe would beg to differ.
Well, for once, I would have to disagree with Adam Cole in that assertion. This man is absolutely special. He's called the one and only for a reason. The question is he special enough to take that North American title from around the waist of Adam Cole?
Cole would love to keep Ricochet grounded, control this contest on the mat as Ricochet immediately showing off his athleticism and reversing on Adam Cole. Will we get a clean break?
No.
Of course not.
Great evasion.
Cole able to Almost nail Ricochet.
That was
that
close.
super kick.
Close don't count.
Still continuing with the browbeating. You're not special.
Both Cole and Ricochet have conquered every sports entertainment stage they have competed on, but now at the highest level, their moment to shine here tonight at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4.
You mentioned earlier how Ricochet said that where he grew up, no one was famous. Do you think perhaps being told you're not special gets in his head, especially because of where he grew up?
I don't think so at all. This is a man who just wants to fight for a championship. He wants to fight against the very best. I believe, coming from Adam Cole, him saying he's not special, he doesn't care at all. He's going to show him just how special he is here tonight.
Cole upset, I believe, with the fact that Ricochet garnering all the headlines, despite the fact that Adam Cole is the NXT North American champion. Tip up there. Oh, and again, Adam Cole putting on a squeeze that Dr. Pimple Popper would be proud of. And again, just continues to badmouth Ricochet, saying you're not special, trying to get into Ricochet's head.
So far, it looks like Adam Cole is maybe just one step ahead of Ricochet so far.
Leapfrog by Ricochet. Now Ricochet. Oh, and what
there we go.
Drop kick by Ricochet.
Cole in the danger zone.
And spring back flip. Ricochet calling Adam Cole a coward, and well, Cole's actions may fit that description. Oh! Oh, and Adam Cole able to avoid the offense of Ricochet.
Tommy, there was nothing cowardly about that, Morrow. I would say that Adam Cole knew exactly what he was doing. In that match and in the past, it was Ricochet that called him a coward. He just came for retribution. He just brought his friends.
Oh, showcasing his ruthless nature.
I'm a champion.
You can't question Adam Cole's ring IQ, as cerebral as they come, and that's what makes him so dangerous. Also, the ultimate opportunist.
We heard Ricochet on the pre-show earlier today saying he's built to handle pressure. He's got a lot of it coming now that Adam Cole has the advantage.
Ground and pound from the full mount by Adam Cole, keeping the high flyer neutralized on the canvas.
It's a smart move by Adam Cole. The last thing you want is the Ricochet flying around.
Oh, and a back press, the cover by Cole gets a 2 count. After his auspicious debut at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3 last year, Cole tweeted out, making enemies is all part of making history. He's done both during his NXT tenure.
Ricochet, you're not special. You're not special.
Nigel, what does that got to do to a guy when you keep hearing the same thing? You're not special, you're not special. Obviously, Ricochet not taking kindly to it.
Well, of course, now imagine how that would make you feel time and time again to be heard that same thing. Really, it comes down to the testament.
That was a special counter by Cole into the side press, hooks the leg and gets a 2 count.
One of the reasons Cole is so good is he's just so irritating. He gets under your skin. And you might think it doesn't affect you until it gets deep in the match. And then you make a mistake, you take a risk that you wouldn't otherwise have taken.
As technically proficient as they come, and Adam Cole just utilizing the grip here and just wearing down Ricochet.
Give it up.
Grinding on the neck, is cutting off the air supply of Ricochet here.
Adam Cole does everything with a purpose. No wasted movement.
Absolutely, the way Adam Cole moves, the moves that he uses. Of course, this young man has been likened in some ways to Shawn Michaels in the past.
Heady praise indeed, and he may very well live up to that comparison. the current NXT North American champion. Oh, but he just walked right into a back elbow from Ricochet. Beautiful front drop kick by Ricochet.
See the way Ricochet hit that drop kick completely blind. He knew exactly where his opponent was, even though he didn't have his eyes on him at the time.
I don't care what Adam Cole says. I think he's about to show us
the adrenaline in his veins. And Ricochet can get higher than a stealth fighter, and he's definitely not going to throw away his shot at the NXT North American Championship.
Take a look at this. Pinpoint precision. Fosbury flop, but look at the way Ricochet lands.
One more time, guys. Adam Cole says that Ricochet's not special. Yeah, I think he just proved Adam Cole wrong.
Yeah, Ricochet's been anything but a flop in his sports entertainment career. Tiger feint kick on Cole. Springboard, European uppercut, levels the North American champion. Back press, Ricochet gets a 2 count. Just 1 count away from becoming the one and only NXT North American champ.
Look at determination on the face of Ricochet, but then grabbing at his neck as well.
Fireman's carry by Ricochet. Cole landing on his feet. Back elbow by Ricochet. Cole retreating to the corner. Step up. Roundhouse kick to the shoulder blade of Adam Cole by Ricochet.
What's he got in mind here?
Oh, lands on his feet. Standing shooting star press, rolled through by Ricochet. But instead of going for the cover, goes back.
One more.
Phoenix splash. Cole just kicked out. A dizzying display of offensive maneuvers from Ricochet. This guy's a cheat code.
He said this man can absolutely do it all. Take a look at this rotation, but more importantly, look at the impact right here across the abdominal section of Adam Cole. I thought this was it.
It's like a human video game when Ricochet's in the ring.
I think I just called him a cheat code for a reason. Now Ricochet, Adam Cole with a couple of shots to the back of Ricochet's neck, but Ricochet stopping Cole with that knife-edge chop. And Ricochet showing off some of his strength. Well versed in all facets of sports entertainment. Constantly evolving his game.
Absolutely, Ricochet is one of the best high flyers, but the reason he's such a good superstar is he knows when to employ that and when to try other tactics.
And spring, backstabber by Cole for a 2 count. What a counter. And again, 2 of the highest ring IQs in NXT, and you're seeing why here tonight, Percy.
I was just getting ready to say, man, you talk about the intelligence of a competitor, of a true superstar. Adam Cole has that.
Man, pulling out a backstabber.
It looked like it was all Ricochet right here, but Adam Cole, a true student of the game, 1 step ahead.
And Nigel, Ricochet's momentum adding to the impact.
Absolutely, coming off that rope. Far more impact, far more momentum, but really it was Cole lying in wait, playing in possum.
And Cole releasing the grip, clubbing forearms, wanting to just wear down Ricochet.
Of course, we've seen Cole beat a lot of people with that last shot, Shining Wizard to the back of the neck.
Ooh. Oh, what a forearm shiver across the jawline by Ricochet. Both of these superstars involved in that 6-man ladder match at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. It was Adam Cole that made history, but it's Ricochet who wants to claim the gold here in Brooklyn. And again, using the ring.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, Ricochet just blocked that super kick. I don't know if I've ever seen that done. Oh, discus forearm by Ricochet.
You talk about ring IQ, the ability to know where your opponent is. Great example from Ricochet. This could be it.
Oh, he got it that time. Oh, he's out.
He's out.
Timing by Adam Cole. Adam Cole.
Adam Cole returns.
Oh, wow. Ricochet able to kick out, but you talk about impeccable timing by Adam Cole.
Incredible. Look at the pinpoint accuracy
Absolutely perfect super kick to the neck. Here from a different angle.
Surprised that Cole didn't snuff out Ricochet's pilot light with that devastating kick.
Well, again, to back up the point we made earlier, there is no doubt Ricochet is special. If for no other reason than the punishment he's able to endure.
Cole coming off the ropes, looking for the couch. The last shot, and instead it's Ricochet rolling him up for a 2. Oh, what a fool.
Right back to the injured neck. What?
Wait. Oh. Ricochet, one wonders, is he going to win a striking exchange with Adam Cole? Oh!
Oh, my Lord!
Oh, man! Step up enziguri by Cole, a cavalcade of kicks. And a jumping knee by Ricochet. Another boot to the face by Cole.
Oh, my goodness!
Come on!
What a hard hit! Ricochet! Oh, wow! Cole almost able to escape with the NXT North American Championship. The size of the welt on the neck of Ricochet, a testament to their grit, a testament to their commitment to their craft, and how important is it to walk out of Brooklyn as NXT North American Champion. 2 of the very best going at it in BK. Who will get to their feet first?
Cole up to one knee. Oh, look where Ricochet is.
Doesn't know where he is. He's trying desperately to get back to his feet.
Adam Cole is exposed.
Oh, no. Shot Ricochet able to avoid it. Reverse spike run by Ricochet. Ricochet needs to go for the cover. Ricochet has to go for the cover.
He was playing possum. He was setting Adam Cole up. Here we go. You know what he's looking for. You know what he's going for.
This could be a mistake.
Yeah, Ricochet.
Or it could be genius.
We don't need wings to fly. Here we go.
Running victory in the most auspicious fashion. But Cole is rolling out of the ring. And you know what? Not going for the cover may have cost Ricochet.
Absolutely did cost him, and it's... The NXT Universe doesn't like that decision, but it was the right decision, certainly from Adam Cole.
Yeah, you can't call him a coward for being smart. Cole retreating out of the ring, buying himself some time. Oh my God! Leaping Hurricane Rana by Ricochet!
You're talking about being fearless.
And now, Ricochet will try again.
Ricochet on the top turnbuckle after launching himself with that monster Hurricane Rana. 630 connects! 630 connects!
New champion!
Here we go! Yeah!
Ricochet has done it!
Your winner and new NXT North American Champion, Ricochet!
All the hard work, all the effort that Ricochet has put in over the past 15 years has finally come to fruition, and this man got what he wanted, an NXT championship in the form of the North American title.
A breathtaking display of what makes Ricochet the one and only. And how much is he? He's in his feelings right now.
That's the adrenaline running through Ricochet's body that enabled him somehow to dig down deep and kick out at the very last second. Disbelief on the face of Cole.
I mean, this was a back and forth battle like you would not believe, but take a look at this innovative offense, laying it all on the line, doing whatever he deemed necessary to find a way to come out here victorious tonight. And this right here, is an absolute thing of beauty. Picture perfect right here. And this helped Ricochet walk out of here with the North American Championship. Congratulations, young man, you did it.
Ricochet being feted by the NXT Universe. Meanwhile, a crestfallen Adam Cole can't believe his fate.
Ricochet said it's not about being good, not about being great, not about being special. It's about being better. And tonight, Ricochet was the better man.
The new NXT North American Champion is Ricochet, baby!
One more time, we gotta look at this thing yet again. Look at the precision, look at the accuracy right here. All the impact on the chest of Adam Cole. There was no way that Adam Cole was going to be able to kick out of that.
It's rotating so fast that adds to the momentum of the impact when you land. Like a spinning top. Oh, crashing down with every pound, driving the wind out of the chest of Adam Cole.
Sports Entertainment Skywalker, Ricochet, Laser Focus, and the new NXT North American Champion.
Samoa Joe on AJ Styles with a coquina clutch. What the hell is happening?
It was an ambush.
TikTok tip. TikTok. Oh, AJ, you've lost focus on what's really dangerous around you.
Samoa Joe clashes with Styles for the WWE Championship. Can he tear down the house that AJ Styles built?
Barclays Center in Brooklyn, home of SummerSlam weekend. And we're just getting started. An incredible night coming your way tomorrow night at SummerSlam.
From outside the Barclays Center to inside the Barclays Center, two former world champions, Mark Henry, Kevin Owens, enjoying things here tonight as we move forward to the NXT Women's Championship match.
Kevin Owens will battle Braun Strowman tomorrow night at SummerSlam.
Hey guys, Shayna Baszler says that Zayn lacks the killer instinct, but we'll see if Kairi proves her wrong and becomes the new NXT Women's Champion when she battles Baszler for the title tonight.
Welcome to the historic Mae Young Classic. 32 women from 13 countries. Somebody's going to walk away the inaugural winner of this tournament. Kairi Sane with the insane elbow. And Kairi Sane has beaten Shayna Baszler to win the first ever Mae Young Classic.
NXT Kairi Sane is here.
The winner of the first Mae Young Classic, ready to set sail in the NXT ring.
Known as Onna Kaizoku, the female pirate.
Don't let her sunny disposition fool you.
She's tough, she's quick, she's like lightning in a bottle.
She really has captured the hearts of the WWE Universe.
And she's now focused on capturing the NXT Women's Championship. What the?
Oh my God!
Shayna Baszler!
She hasn't forgotten that loss.
Yeah, a year ago, Kairi beat me in the Mae Young Classic, but everyone forgets that I beat her also.
Kirifuda driver!
Right into the Kirifuda clutch!
Kairi's got a tap!
Baszler able to submit the Pirate Princess!
Look what I've accomplished since then.
Oh my God, we have a new NXT Women's Champion!
All Kairi has is what she did last year. That's why I'm here with this and she's not.
Since the Mae Young Classic, I haven't won against Shayna. That has to change.
It is going to be a rematch of the Mae Young Classic.
I know it. You know it. I can beat you.
You don't have what it takes. I have killer instinct. You don't.
Whoa, whoa! Baszler attacking! LeRae with the Kirifuda clutch! Oh, and Kairi Sane has seen enough!
Allow me to introduce you to what you thought you knew. Thought you found the dark side.
Shayna, you will see my killer instinct.
When I walk out of NXT TakeOver Brooklyn with this still over my shoulder, nobody's ever going to bring up the Mae Young Classic ever again.
At TakeOver, I will be the next NXT Women's Champion.
Another rubber match with the stakes the highest they can be. It's for the NXT Women's Championship.
The sweet and emotive Olympic yachting hopeful looks to continue her odyssey towards the NXT Women's Championship.
Guys, in the last couple of weeks, you've seen the aggression change and rise in Kairi Sane. She knows it's on the line here tonight, and she's ready to take it all the way and put the boots to Shayna Baszler.
Kairi Sane drew first blood in this rivalry, winning the inaugural Mae Young Classic against the upstart Shayna Baszler, but that was last September. What we've seen since then, well, has been a tour de force as Shayna Baszler has dominated the NXT Women's Division, including evening the score with Kairi Sane as we head into this third contest between these two incredible competitors.
There's no doubt that this is a different Shayna Baszler to the one that Honor Kaizoku faced in the inaugural Mae Young Classic. The question is, how much can the Pirate Princess change in that same period of time?
Sane earned the opportunity at the NXT Women's Championship here tonight by winning a #1 contenders triple threat match against Nikki Cross and Candice LeRae. And while Shayna Baszler has contended that Sane does not have the killer instinct, well, Shayna Baszler should ask Aaliyah if that's the case after what we saw this past Wednesday on NXT TV.
Yeah, agreed. She made a tap. Why she pointed at Shayna Baszler?
NXT Women's Champion. The Queen of Spades, more ruthless than the Queen of Hearts. Off with their heads, maybe the goal when it comes to the lethal Kirifuda clutch.
It may sound like the Wicked Witch of the West, but this is no fairy tale. It doesn't matter how many times Sane clicks her heels, she's not going home.
It was at NXT TakeOver New Orleans WrestleMania weekend where Shayna Baszler bested Ember Moon to become the new NXT Women's Champion. And we've seen her brutality continue to rise, Percy.
This woman has tormented everyone on the roster on her way to becoming women's champion, from Aaliyah to Dakota Kai, you name it.
Shayna Baszler in clear and present
danger. The following
danger.
contest, scheduled for one fall, is for the NXT Women's Championship. Introducing the challenger, from Yamaguchi, Japan, Kairi Sane. And her opponent, from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, she is the NXT Women's Champion, Shayna Baszler.
Baszler said that tonight is the night the fantasy Kairi Sane is living in ends. Sane hopes it ends with that championship around her waist, the NXT Women's title.
As you mentioned, Mauro, this is the third match. They're tied 1-1, and usually in the rubber match, the champion is favored. There are some people who have said that Kairi Sane is a heavy underdog in this match.
And there a look at, wow, Ronda Rousey, Marina Shafir, and Jessamyn Duke round out the four horsewomen with Shayna Baszler. And how important is this match to Ronda Rousey? She's on the eve of the biggest match of her sports entertainment career against Alexa Bliss tomorrow at SummerSlam, and yet she's here at ringside to support the Queen of Spades.
Every one of those four horsewomen, they stay together, they fight together.
And the early reviews are sterling for Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir, but now the focus on Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane. What an escape by Sane! And now Sane looking for a submission. Looking to trick the submission magician. And NXT TakeOver continuing to trend worldwide at #1, sold out. Just over 14,600 fans here at Barclays Center. And we're about to determine the #1 woman in NXT.
Kairi Sane tried to beat Shayna Baszler at her own game.
Tried with a single leg, but
gut wrench.
Baszler had it scouted easily again. Oh, interesting.
Single leg takedown. Oh, and there's Sane looking for the quick pin. Another quick roll by Sane, wanting to shock Shayna Baszler. Oh, stretch muffler. Stretch muffler by Kairi Sane. Wow, and Sane, I think, is bedeviling Shayna Baszler with her attempts at these submissions.
Oh, head to head. Doesn't look as though Sane really had Baszler trouble, but he certainly got in Baszler's head.
Yeah, Baszler usually doesn't react like this, as emotional as she has been in this matchup against Kairi Sane, and now it's Baszler sending Sane into the ropes. Nice move there, but a quick reversal, and these two are just looking to assert their dominance early, and it's Kairi Sane taking the fight to Shayna Baszler. And it's obvious to me, guys, that Kairi Sane is in Shayna Baszler's head.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's a great start for Sane. Not the start that the champion wanted. It could get worse.
Sane sailing through the air and wiping out Baszler. Again, though, the champion's advantage. Sane, knowing it, fully cognizant, quickly rolls Baszler back into the ring. Champion could not lose the title via countout, so Kairi Sane fully aware of that. Or disqualification. And Kairi Sane now picking up a head of steam. Oh, wow, what a move by Shayna Baszler, taking Sane's leg right out from under her, Nigel.
Sane clattered hard into the mat after that dropkick.
This could be trouble for Kairi Sane right here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
Look at the
Baszler
angle.
targeting, just repeatedly stomping on the calf of the right leg of Kairi Sane.
Picking apart the right knee.
You know, Baszler tweeted, wherever there are bodies, they all break the same, and she would like nothing more than to break Kairi Sane's fighting spirit.
Baszler's got Kairi in a position where she can just take her time and be methodical and just pick the challenger apart.
Baszler running the NXT women's division like cardio, and both of these superstars in premium physical condition, and that is why they are vying for the NXT women's title.
Sane doing her best to fight back. Oh, no, she got caught hard with a kick to the chest.
And that knee again, the target of Shayna Baszler, the catch wrestling connoisseur. Now the full mount by the full mixed martial artist, and look how she's utilizing the knee. Bending that right knee while dropping the ground and pound on Kairi Sane.
I think it was Sane trying to get the knee up to protect herself, maybe.
Well, it didn't pay the dividends she would have liked.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Talk to the medial cruciate ligament. Oh!
He is not supposed to bend that way.
Baszler's twisting while Sane's shouting here in Brooklyn.
Sane needs to get her free leg to stop some of the pressure on the... Oh, my Lord.
God.
Or a hand, just something.
Baszler says Kairi's...
Oh, no, look at this. She's going to...
No, come on.
Break the toes, the ankle. Shayna Baszler looking to do serious damage to Kairi Sane. How much more can the Pirate Princess take? She has been brutalized by Shayna Baszler.
Baszler said she is a different competitor now, and you can just clearly see how dangerous she's become.
And I wondered, can the Sane of today beat the Baszler of today? That Mae Young Classic final was last September. Shayna Baszler's improved exponentially.
Oh, look at the
Baszler mocking Kairi Sane.
This is a completely different woman.
Oh!
There are very few people who can make that transition from MMA or wrestling into sports entertainment. You think of a Kurt Angle, a Ken Shamrock.
This could be all over for Kairi Sane. I mean, there's nothing she can accomplish against Shayna Baszler on one leg.
Shayna Baszler just toying with Kairi Sane, and it shocks me to say that. Oh, but
okay.
Kairi, she may have just awoken the beast inside Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane channeling her inner Bushido.
Oh,
it's one thing to have heart, but if your body won't stay with you, you have no chance.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Kairi Sane has transmuted her rage into this offensive onslaught on Shayna Baszler. Unloading lefts and rights. Baszler desperately trying to block this attack by Sane.
Oh, here we go.
Well, is this perhaps the killer instinct that Shayna Baszler said Sane lacked?
Oh! Plenty of killer instinct on that spinning back fist.
Whoa!
Rolling neckbreaker by Kairi Sane. Sane steamrolling Shayna Baszler.
She's got to keep it going. Kairi's got to find a way to keep the pedal to the metal.
Kairi Sane has to utilize adrenaline, Nigel. She has to summon everything up.
She has to be feeling a lot of pain now. There was damage done to Kairi Sane's knees.
Kairi Sane has got to fight through this pain here. She's got to take it to that plate. She's got to match Shayna Baszler fire for fire. Here we go.
Sane feeling the pain, but bringing the pain to Shayna Baszler with the sliding D. And now the cover. Kairi Sane looking to become NXT Women's Champion, and Baszler escapes.
Interesting that Sane elected to try a pinfall attempt there. Normally after hitting that sliding D, she'll go straight to the top to attempt the insane elbow. Perhaps she realized it was going to take her longer to get up there.
You wonder with that injured leg, and I think that cost her as Shayna Baszler able to counter with a kick. And now on that second turnbuckle, clubbing forearms by the NXT Women's Champion.
Oh, no.
God, superplex by Shayna Baszler as Sane crashes in a heap.
A look of desperation on the face of Sane, landing hard. Look at the impact, but look at Sane's heels that drive into the mat with the most momentum, and that's going to apply more pressure to the injured knees of Kairi Sane. Any second now, if Baszler elects to attempt a knee bar.
What about this valiant effort on display by Sane, giving the NXT Women's Champion as good as she's getting here in this striking exchange? And one would think that Baszler would have the advantage. Baszler able to attack the lower. Wow! That knee strike and the cover! And Shayna Baszler are one count away from retaining the NXT Women's title. Baszler defended her crown at NXT TakeOver Chicago 2 against Nikki Cross, who represents a completely different threat than someone like Kairi Sane, Nigel.
Absolutely, two very different styles, but that's the thing, when you're a champion, you have to be prepared for any style. Looking here for perhaps for that Kirifuda driver, couldn't get it.
Yeah, Shane able to distribute her body weight.
Out of nowhere!
A big spear by Shane! And Percy, you said it best, out of nowhere! Shane able to spear Shayna Baszler with the interceptor. Now from the second turnbuckle, Shane elbow to the back! And Shane elbow by Shane!
She's shaking her finger. Shane says, Shane's going again!
Here we go!
But why isn't she going for the cover on that injured leg? She wants to prove to Shayna Baszler that she has a killer instinct with Baszler. Rolls out of the ring.
She was going for the top rope this time. Here we go.
She's out of harm's way. Kairi Sane with a diving crossbody, wiping out the NXT Women's Champion.
What a move from the challenger. Shane continues.
He's going for one more.
Adrenaline now. Fighting
Baszler in
through.
trouble. Shane on the top turnbuckle. She's already delivered one. Make it another. Insane elbow. Are we calling a new Women's Champion? Oh my God, Baszler kicked out just in the nick of time. And the shock on Shane's face says it all.
Check out Kairi Sane going for it all right here. High impact maneuvers, one after the other after the other. Another insane elbow to the heart. Who doesn't have the killer instinct? I think Shayna Baszler made a mistake because Kairi Sane definitely has.
Well, that is the first time in her NXT career that anybody has kicked out of the insane elbow, excuse me. Oh,
but
wait a second.
It doesn't appear to have cost Kairi Sane looking for that anchor. Oh, but quick reversal. No. By Baszler. Kirifuda clutch. Baszler snaps a Kirifuda clutch. Shane desperately trying to get to the rope.
Shane flailing.
This could be all over right here. She cannot get to the rope. Kairi Sane's in trouble.
Shane is so close.
Fingertips if that hand's drop.
Oh, Shane is fading though. Kairi Sane is fading. Oh no! She snaps the bottom rope. Kairi Sane stays alive in this NXT Women's Championship match. Shayna Baszler knows it. She knows she was so close to retaining her title.
But the damage is done. Baszler milked every second of that count before the referee had to break it.
NXT Universe fully behind Kairi Sane. Baszler again attacking that injured right leg, now looking for the submission. The heel hook. And that is the injured leg, Nigel.
Applying pressure to the cruciate ligaments of the knee. Was damaged earlier.
How much punishment can Sane absorb? We have seen her fighting spirit tested to the max. But there's a reversal by Sane. Kairi Sane with a beautiful reversal. Looking for the anchor. Oh, but now it's Baszler's turn to be saved by that bottom rope.
Shane had the death lock on, but with the injured knee, she just couldn't drive to get the bridge.
Ultra competitive matchup, and now Shane using the ropes. But Gilly has a count of 5 before being disqualified. Referee administering the count, and Shane breaks just in the nick of time.
Kairi Sane realized it, though. She wanted to find a way to slow Baszler down for just a second.
Look what Baszler did. Baszler rolled back inside the ring. That could be a big mistake.
Oh, wow, Shane.
Look at the power.
Alabama slam on Shayna Baszler. And once again, Kairi Sane ascends to the top turnbuckle. Looking for her third insane elbow. Blocked by Baszler. Blocked by Baszler. Immediately Blaze. Baszler snatches the Kirifuda clutch. What an escape shoulder. Champion. Mamma mia.
Your winner and new NXT Women's Champion, Kairi Sane.
And what an incredible sequence to bring about the denouement in this dynamic NXT Women's Championship match. Baszler blocking the insane elbow, immediately snatching the Kirifuda clutch, but instantly Shane able to roll up. Baszler's shoulders down, Kairi Sane, the years of pain, the years of sacrifice. Kairi Sane, it all pays off on this night in Brooklyn. The Pirate Princess is now the queen of NXT.
What an incredible display of fortitude from Onna Kaizoku.
Sane is in a state of shock. I don't think she can believe what has just happened.
I think the entire world and all of Brooklyn, everybody here at Barclays Center is, because Shayna Baszler had her dead to rights, but the perseverance of Kairi Sane helped her win the NXT Women's title right here tonight.
Let's take a look at exactly how she did it. Sane got caught with the boots. Baszler knew exactly where she was going, but look, it was the years of experience of Kairi Sane to know that if she got caught in the Kira Fuda clutch, there was one way out, one way to reverse it into a pinfall attempt. She took it and she claimed her place as the new NXT Women's Champion.
Kairi Sane just found her ultimate treasure.
What a night here at Barclays Center, and the emotion says it all. This is what these superstars live for. This is why they go to the gym at the crack of dawn. They work through the pain, put in the long hours, the long travel miles. It's for moments like this, a moment that Kairi Sane will never forget. Because here at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4, Kairi Sane has become the new NXT Women's Champion. And what a bookend to what has already been a terrific NXT career, beginning with victory in the Mae Young Classic, culminating with this, the biggest victory of her career here tonight.
The moment has arrived. This is NXT UK. Here with the dragon, so we back up in here. Spit fire from the back of your ears. Coming straight from the belly of the beast that's in the back of your ear. With flourish that's got you clapping your rear. This panic and fear is damaging. Radical stages of behavior that's got you on a scatty thing. Looking for the big batty thing. You might find happiness. If you can make it through the thing.
United Kingdom! Are you?
I'ma start this fire.
Carmella tapped. Charlotte's going to SummerSlam. It is now a triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's title at SummerSlam.
It looks like Becky Lynch isn't too happy.
And just like that, mathematically, the odds dwindle.
I'm ready to reclaim my throne.
Everything I have fought for has led me to this moment.
Mella is more money than ever.
Get your popcorn ready. You add Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Carmella to the equation. It's gonna get crazy.
You're listening to Made in America by the Fever 333 from the album Made in America, an NXT loud theme song for NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, available now on iTunes and Spotify. Made in America.
Well, it's been an incredible night of action here in NXT, and after TakeOver Brooklyn tonight, we'll hear from the man whose vision created NXT. WWE COO Triple H will give his take on all tonight's matches as an exclusive interview live on Facebook Live.
A man that has had more than his fair share of last man standing matches, Triple H, and yes, the time has come for another one. It was supposed to be a triple threat match, but Aleister Black was attacked by a mystery assailant, and it's now going to be Chapter 4 of this barbaric rivalry between Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. The stakes have never been higher. This one is for the NXT Championship. All I can say is Mamma Mia. Here we go again.
Since day one, my goal, my dream, my everything is to be the NXT champion.
For you, Johnny Gargano, hope is lost. Faith is broken. And your fairy tale, it's over.
In Chicago, all I saw was anger and hatred and suffering. That's why you won.
After beating Johnny, freaking wrestling with my hands cuffed together, you're damn straight, I knew I was the #1 contender.
Alistair, boy, you have something that I want.
You know better than anyone what the NXT Championship means to me. Because even after Chicago, you knew you could twist the knife even more.
Johnny, just like you were ready to replace me,
I knew I couldn't let you win.
Wait a minute! Johnny Gargano! Johnny Gargano, what the hell?
He didn't mean to do that!
boy,
Oh my God!
I replaced you.
No! No!
Oh my God!
Tommaso Ciampa is NXT champion. Because of me.
This is my NXT now!
Never in a million years did you think the Gargano fairy tale ended like this.
This is not your NXT! Not while I'm still breathing!
Johnny Gargano loses. I win.
The only reason he's NXT champion is because of me!
I guess you're right. The only reason he's NXT champion is because of you.
You three are hell-bent on destroying each other. So at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, the NXT Championship will now be decided in a triple threat match.
Aleister Black has sustained substantial injuries, and while Aleister is no longer standing, two men are. So in the main event for the NXT Championship, it will be Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa in a last man standing match.
From an unsanctioned match in New Orleans to a street fight in Chicago, have I given everything? Not yet.
Understand the real story here. This isn't Johnny Gargano's fairy tale. This is about me.
The greatest sports entertainer of all time!
I got one more shot to achieve my dream. Not just become NXT champion, but to stop Tommaso Ciampa.
This is my proof. TakeOver Brooklyn will be my ultimate moment.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make sure Tommaso Ciampa does not leave Brooklyn, the NXT champion.
The following contest is a last man standing match, and it is for the NXT Championship. In this match, there are no pinfalls, submissions, countouts, or disqualifications. The only way to win is by incapacitating your opponent until he cannot stand back up before the referee's count of 10.
I shudder to think of the brutality that we are about to witness. If their harrowing history is any indication, this last man standing match will not be for the faint of heart as the Blackheart and Rebelheart renew hostilities, guys. And the stakes, well, they've never been higher. The most intense rivalry in NXT history now involves the NXT Championship. It doesn't get any bigger or more personal than this.
Well, Mahatma Gandhi said the enemy is fear. We think it's hate, but it's really fear. If that's the case, perhaps Gargano has created his own enemy. Because even Gargano admitted it. It was Gargano's interference in the NXT Championship match between Ciampa and Black that gave Ciampa the opportunity to beat Black for the title and allow the era of a madman to begin.
It was here in Brooklyn at Barclays Center that the tag team DIY began. The team of Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, and tonight Gargano says it will be where the memory of DIY will die. He has said he will give the NXT Universe everything he has tonight. Barclays Center has not been kind to Johnny Gargano. 0 for 2 at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn.
Introducing the challenger from Cleveland, Ohio, weighing in at 199 pounds, Johnny Gargano. And his opponent from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, weighing in at 210 pounds, he is the NXT champion.
Whoa! Wow! Johnny Gargano attacking Tommaso Ciampa! And Gargano, who blames himself for costing Aleister Black the NXT Championship, full of rage, full of enmity and animosity towards his former best friend.
I don't think there's any doubt. Everybody blames Johnny Gargano. It was clearly his fault, but can he make retributions for it?
That's what it's about. It's about the NXT title.
Gargano dropping down left hands on Ciampa. Again, last man standing match. Tell us the rules, Nigel.
No countouts, no disqualifications, no pinfalls, no submissions. The only way to win, and it can happen anywhere in the world, is to incapacitate your opponent so they cannot answer a 10 count.
You can get involved in the social media conversation. Hashtag last man standing. Montague versus Capulet, Yankees versus Red Sox, Ali versus Frazier. I don't know if any of those rivalries have anything on Gargano and Ciampa. Third straight takeover. They're closing the show. This time for the NXT Championship as Gargano's back caught the corner of the ring steps.
Ciampa said he's willing to die for the NXT title tonight. We'll find out if Johnny Gargano is willing to do the same.
Well, let's hope neither of those things happen, Percy, but ultimately this is a last man standing match, so if you're thinking of a strategy, perhaps breaking your opponent's leg, but normally I'd be joking when I say that. When you see what these men have put each other through.
Oh! And Gargano fires Ciampa back first into the barrier.
Just can't believe how much Johnny Gargano has suffered and endured at the hands of Tommaso Ciampa. Being fired from his job, almost losing his marriage with Candice LeRae, being reinstated. This man has been through it all. Tommaso Ciampa has tried to tear everything from Gargano.
Unsanctioned match at NXT TakeOver New Orleans WrestleMania weekend, won by Johnny Gargano. Street fight, NXT TakeOver Chicago 2, won by a handcuffed Tommaso Ciampa. And now here at TakeOver Brooklyn 4, last man standing for the NXT Championship.
We are going to see brutality in this match, the likes of which perhaps we've never seen before. And that's saying something.
And Johnny Gargano wasting a little time and taking advantage of the rules. The fact there are no rules in this last man standing. And oh, Gargano now exposing the concrete.
Here we go.
Just like we saw Tommaso Ciampa do in the past. It is obvious that Johnny Gargano has gone to that dark place in his rebel heart, fighting fire with fire against the scourge of NXT, Tommaso Ciampa, and again Ciampa digging at the eyes of Gargano. The sadistic SOB Ciampa just willing to dig the eyes out of Johnny Gargano.
Well, this is such a dangerous match now. Of course, originally it was supposed to be a triple threat before somebody attacked the former champion, Aleister Black. But now...
And while Aleister Black is watching with vested interest, this is all about Gargano and Ciampa. Chapter 4. And that was Ciampa driven back first into the ring post. This is not about catch-as-catch-can wrestling. This is about brutality. This is about Johnny Gargano throwing caution to the wind.
That's what it's about right here, baby. Here we go.
This is going to be all
over. And Gargano just sent Ciampa into our broadcast location. And again, Johnny Gargano taking advantage of the fact that this is last man standing. He wants to be that man. He wants to be the man in NXT. And right now it is Johnny Gargano standing on the broadcast table.
This is not going to end well.
Oh, Ciampa desperately trying to fend off the attack.
No,
Ciampa! And right flash through the table. Referee is administering the 10 count. The carnage on display.
Ciampa may be right. The Gargano fairy tale may be over right here.
I cannot believe that Gargano's going to be able to get up after being driven through the table by a Ciampa air raid crash. But he is up, a testament to Johnny Gargano and this special DNA that comprises this heart and soul of NXT.
Absolutely incredible fortitude, a testament to how much hatred, vitriol there is between both these competitors.
The enmity that exists between these two former best friends cannot be measured.
Ciampa with a chair, but is he going to have the chance to use it?
And remember, the chair is legal in this last man standing match, and Ciampa booting Gargano in the face as Gargano was reaching for the chair. Ciampa, a running knee strike to the side of the face of Johnny Gargano, wanting to shatter Gargano's cheekbone.
We're not done by a long shot.
And an ominous message from Ciampa.
Oh no!
Ciampa referring himself to the greatest sports entertainer of all time. There is no doubt he is the most dangerous man in NXT, and oh no.
And these men used to be friends, best of friends.
Oh! And Gargano using the chair to waylay Tommaso Ciampa on that injured leg. The brace. Ciampa still wearing the brace, and there, Gargano using the chair as a weapon of destruction.
It's Gargano's moment, not just to become champion, but to finally put an end and put a stop to Tommaso Ciampa.
Oh! The sick thud reverberating throughout the Barclays Center here in Brooklyn.
This is what Ciampa does so well, begging for mercy.
Oh, wow! Gargano driving the chair into the midsection of Ciampa.
He'll get no mercy from Johnny Gargano tonight.
Referee administering the count. Ciampa has until the count of 10 to get back up to his feet. Injured, wheel and all.
Oh, hold on. Gargano's intention clear.
Oh, Gargano looking for the London. Instead, Ciampa counters it into a sleeper hold. Well, and a great move by Ciampa. If he puts Gargano to sleep, he's not going to be able to get up at a count of 10. He's not going to be counting sheep either. He will be night-night.
Pressure of the forearm and the corner.
Oh, wow, and look,
he can use the rope
anything goes, anything goes.
Wants.
Ciampa using that bottom rope for added leverage. Gargano beginning to fade.
Fairy Tale's dead.
And again, Gargano looking to that bottom rope, but there will be no break.
No.
I mean, this is all
standing.
about last man
no
standing.
countouts, no submissions.
Not sure if Ciampa has that forearm far enough underneath the jaw. And now he's applying more pressure. Cut off that carotid artery to the brain.
Gargano just trying to catch his breath, trying to... Is he
out? Is Gargano out?
Referee's up to a count of 2.
Slightly.
Oh, he is stirring. Gargano barely stirring.
This is bad news written all over it. Ciampa has Gargano right where he wants him.
But when he gets up, Ciampa's there again. And that's in deep now, right underneath the jaw.
And Gargano again in the clutches of the Ciampa sleeper. Ciampa wanting to subject Gargano to an ignominious fate. He wants to render him unconscious and walk out of Brooklyn, the last man standing and still NXT champion.
Look at Gargano's legs, though. They're moving. And if they're moving, then Ciampa doesn't have that hold applied enough.
Ciampa already wearing vestiges of battle.
No!
It was a brutal start to this, the main event at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, for what has been a memorable night, culminating with this intense rivalry.
Oh, look at that, just lifting Gargano.
The fact that Gargano's standing after that air raid crash through the table.
Oh, wait a second.
And now Gargano with the long dart, sending Ciampa face first into the chair in the corner. And maybe it's going to be Ciampa whose lights go out.
It is unreal how much these two are willing to go to tear each other apart.
Well, and the question, Nigel, is how much more can they do to one another?
It's incredible to answer that question. Think back, what have we seen with a referee up to 6?
Well,
that
Ciampa was up momentarily, broke the count. And Johnny Gargano foraging at ringside.
Look at this, face first. Gargano planted Ciampa into the stairs in the corner here.
Gargano introducing a table, about to set the table for more carnage in Brooklyn.
This is not the Johnny Gargano that I knew. This is no longer Johnny Wrestling. This is a bitter man, a vengeful man.
Exactly right, and you heard his wife say numerous times that this was not the man she married.
Wow. Johnny Gargano attempting to, what is he going to do, stack these tables? The venom enveloping the visage of Johnny Gargano, something I've never seen, and now that smile as if to say, you're not going to like what I'm about to do to you, Tommaso Ciampa, but it's Ciampa trying to stave off the attack. Gargano coming back with a series of left hands.
Well, Gargano's intention clear again.
Gargano wants to suplex Ciampa out of the ring and through the tables. Ciampa doing his damnedest to avoid that painful fate.
Well, there's two tables back to back, which means that's much harder. Far more impact when you go through those tables.
Switch by Ciampa. German suplex by the NXT champion.
Gargano stunned, reaching for the ropes. Can't hold them.
So much
and say what you will about Tommaso Ciampa and his behavior. He is a master technician in the squared circle.
And he is a winner, and as you heard earlier, history is written by the winners.
Oh! Arm trap German suplex completing the hat trick on Johnny Gargano, and Gargano's neck is worse for wear.
And now Gargano is prone and at risk of going through the tables that he set up.
Keep in mind, there's no padding down there. That's exposed concrete underneath those tables.
The knee with the brace. And Tommaso Ciampa wiping out Gargano, the vitriol that each of these superstars feels for the other. The vitriol that courses through their veins has powered this ultimate rivalry. And now Ciampa with a steel chair to the back.
This is going to be hard to watch.
It already is hard to watch.
I can't imagine how it feels to endure.
Ciampa imploring Gargano to stay down. Ciampa has a better chance of being struck by lightning than to have Johnny Gargano capitulate. An uneasy feeling enveloping the Barclays Center here in Brooklyn. NXT Universe, a portion trying to rally. Johnny Gargano. Oh! The Project Ciampa! Tommaso Ciampa!
Come on!
Make it 2 in a row! He's already completed the triumvirate of German suplexes. Will he be able to complete the trio of Project Ciampas? He does! And how much more can Gargano sustain?
This has got to be it.
That just goes to show you how deep the hatred is seated in Tommaso
Referee
Ciampa.
is at 1. And Ciampa's gonna take a seat. And the count of the referee, music to the ears of Tommaso Ciampa.
Gargano barely moving at 5.
How can he have anything left?
Referees at the count of 7. I don't know if Johnny Gargano's going to be able to do. Johnny Gargano, super kick to Ciampa, but at what cost?
Where did Gargano find that energy?
Was that Gargano's last stand, guys, in this last man standing match?
I mean, just look at all the punishment, all the abuse, and that was for the 3rd time.
The power bomb into the double knees, destroying Johnny Gargano's back, taking away his foundation, the foundation he needs to stand, Nigel.
You can't win this match if you can't stand. It's the entire purpose of this match. Both superstars now groggy.
And yet, somehow, Johnny Gargano fires back with a left hand on Tommaso Ciampa. It is a testament to what makes these two superstars two of the best on the planet. The depths they are willing to go
Both these men are landing punches.
I have no idea how either one are still standing right now.
And to think, Tommaso Ciampa was a part of Johnny Gargano's wedding. They were former NXT Tag Team Champions. On the roll-up. Oh, and a kick by Johnny Gargano, but Ciampa's the one on his feet. Gargano back up to a vertical base momentarily, now on the apron. Oh, and a slingshot spear intercepted by the kick from Ciampa. Ciampa looking for that fairy tale ending. Oh, reverse one-up by Gargano. Oh, step up enziguri by Johnny Gargano. And the adrenaline seems to be fueling Gargano. Ooh, but another German suplex. What? It's incredible what we are witnessing here in Brooklyn. Gargano's turn.
This is just
to execute a German suplex.
I have no words.
Where there is a will, there is a way. And no one can count out either Ciampa or Gargano, who are now both in a supine position. Whoa!
What?
Look at how
They're up at one! They are up at one! What is fueling these men?
It's obvious not all superheroes wear capes. It is incredible what we are seeing here tonight in this last man standing match between Gargano and Ciampa. Ciampa with a running knee. There's a super kick by Gargano. They're still both on their feet. Wow. The referee is halfway to the count of 10.
Ciampa stirs first.
Ciampa getting to his feet first. The reigning NXT champion now retreating out of the ring.
9.
Oh, and Gargano just beat the count.
This is beyond guts, beyond determination. This is something superhuman.
Oh, super kick by Gargano. And again, Gargano, this time Ciampa avoids the cannonball by Gargano. And will this be the moment that costs Johnny Gargano the match in the NXT Championship as Ciampa continues to batter Johnny Gargano?
And of course, the back of Johnny Gargano has been destroyed throughout this match.
And it's about to be further exacerbated.
Chairs.
Don't do this. Don't do this. Come on.
My God! My God, the fairy tale ending. Face first on the steps.
It is over.
It has to be. The referee is counting. There's no way Gargano can get back up to his feet. Meanwhile, Ciampa needs to get back to his feet. This is for the NXT Championship. This is more than just about the most intense rivalry in NXT. Can Gargano get to his feet?
This could be
just barely.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
A breathtaking moment in NXT history where Johnny Gargano was just able to beat the NXT referee's 10 count. I mean, it was so close, guys.
Gargano clearly has nothing left, but he just will not give Tommaso Ciampa the satisfaction of a victory here.
He is so spent.
And every time Gargano gets back up to his feet, it just brings out more rage from Ciampa. It just continues to fuel the conflagration that is the NXT champion. And now Ciampa continues to introduce the Brutal Toys in this last match that he's coming
No.
We've seen Ciampa. This was how
flashbacks of Chicago
ultimately he won that match.
Yes, he did. Ciampa just using whatever is at his disposal. The ring steps. And now he's going to, oh no.
Ciampa's goal to
minimal amount of
canvas.
protective covering.
Whatever padding there is gonna be gone.
He's destroying the ring in hopes of destroying Johnny Gargano.
Revealing those wooden boards.
This could be more than just a loss for Gargano here tonight. What does this mean for tomorrow? What does this mean for the career?
I doubt either Ciampa or Gargano will ever be the same after this last man standing match and what they have put themselves through this year here in NXT. But for now, it's Ciampa. Oh! Gargano blasting Ciampa in the face and extinguishing that conflagration, blinding the NXT champion.
Ciampa is blinded, cannot see anything, cannot protect himself.
Gargano got to move quick if he can.
Gargano has the crutch. And Ciampa still wondering what's now. Gargano with the swing and breaking the crutch over the back of Tommaso Ciampa. Again, the symbolism. We have seen this movie before. And Johnny Gargano now stalking the NXT champion.
You see the smile on Gargano's face?
Pieces of the crutch everywhere.
He knows he has the upper hand now.
Oh, no! Wait a minute! No. Ciampa has exposed the ring. Meanwhile, Johnny Gargano hanging on for dear life. Gargano barely hanging on to that top rope. Ciampa saying bye-bye. Oh, that's a fast counter enziguri by Gargano, cleaning the clock of Ciampa. Oh, DDT! Face first goes Ciampa on the exposed ring canvas. That unforgiving wood.
Oh, the irony. If Gargano was to beat Ciampa in the exact same way.
The referee's up to a count of 4.
Gargano, get up!
Gargano using the ropes to get back up to his feet. Ciampa still down as the referee reaches the count of 7.
Can't get up.
Are we going to crown a new NXT champion? Oh, he's on his feet.
What a creative way of getting to your feet.
Falling out of the ring. Just
by Gargano. He is not finished meting out the punishment to Tommaso Ciampa. The fact that both of them are still standing is a testament to what these two superstars are made of. And Ciampa wiped out again by Johnny Gargano. Gargano firing off a series of left hands.
No one is safe at ringside.
Do you expect anything left between them?
And a member of the production crew, one of the production crew, oh my God! Ciampa just smashed Gargano's face into a monitor. No one is safe here at ringside. Oh my God! Tommaso Ciampa, a man possessed, piling everybody on top of Johnny Gargano. The bell, Ciampa snapped.
I've never seen anything like it.
Ciampa's burying Johnny Gargano's career.
Is absolutely crazy. He's a maniac right now.
Ciampa's trying to get a win.
Oh my God.
Referee counting. Johnny Gargano buried. Ciampa's panicking. Ciampa desperate to win. Somehow Johnny Gargano, referee's at 7. He's at 8. Gargano trying to escape. Trying to bury himself up from underneath the wall. He does it. Johnny Gargano is on his feet.
No way.
Now that's hard right there.
Ciampa just collapsed on our broadcast table.
Look at this, Tommaso Ciampa.
He can't believe.
Destroyed Gargano.
Ciampa can't believe that Johnny Gargano is still standing. Gargano was buried under pieces of the barricade, the ring bell. Oh, here comes. Remember, at TakeOver Chicago 2, it was Tommaso Ciampa who was handcuffed and yet prevailed. And now he's brought the handcuffs out, but it's Johnny Gargano. Oh my God, no. Ciampa handcuffing Gargano. Oh, but Gargano able to avoid that fate by driving Ciampa into the ring post. It's a cataclysmic scene here at ringside.
Chaos absolutely everywhere.
Gargano now has the handcuffs, and he's neutralized the right hand of Ciampa. Gargano looking to handcuff Tommaso Ciampa again here in Brooklyn. Oh, but Ciampa, desperate measure, the back elbow, sent spit flying out of the mouth of Johnny Gargano. The brutality fully on display. Oh no.
Oh my God.
Oh no, Tommaso Ciampa. Oh, Johnny Gargano on his feet. They're on ring apron now. It's Gargano that has Ciampa over his shoulders. Ciampa holding onto the ropes. The NXT Championship precariously hanging in the balance. Gargano in the ring. Oh, there's a left hand to Ciampa.
Ciampa
barely hanging on.
Ciampa desperately trying to stay standing. Oh, look at this. Gargano's got a handful of Ciampa. Super kick! And Ciampa crashes through the tables. Metal and pieces of wood flying everything. Has Johnny Gargano officially crashed Tommaso Ciampa's championship reign? Referees up to a count of 5.
This might be it. Ciampa's barely moving.
Gargano is playing. This is for the NXT Championship. This could be the most memorable night of Johnny Gargano's career. But there's no defeat. Ciampa literally using that crutch and giving him life in this NXT Championship match. Chance of fight forever. They've been doing just that in this rivalry, this battle for the ages. I have never seen anything like this in sports entertainment. The vitriol, the antipathy, the enmity that Ciampa and Gargano have for one another. It's not human, my friends. It's not human.
Ciampa staring up at Gargano. Gargano staring back. They know there must be more. Where are they going? Ciampa leading Gargano away from the ring.
Ciampa using the crutch to keep himself standing. And now it's Gargano. Kicks the crutch away from Ciampa. Back on even terms. And Johnny Gargano pounding and pounding the NXT champion. Mercilessly beating him down. And here shines a TakeOver Chicago 1. The dissolution of DIY. Oh, Johnny Gargano cinches into Gargano escape. And while Ciampa's tapping,
won't matter.
It doesn't matter.
The Gargano has the one open handcuff.
How long though? Johnny, Gargano now handcuffing Ciampa, trapped, part of the stage. Johnny Gargano, Ciampa has been neutralized. And while Ciampa's able to stand, how much longer?
Oh, this is hard to watch.
It's hard to see Gargano become this person.
Ciampa's defenseless as he eats the super kick from Johnny Gargano.
Ciampa is limp.
The NXT Universe yelling one more time.
Johnny, please. Johnny, I'm sorry. Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Johnny,
It's too late for that now.
I'm sorry, Johnny.
Ciampa trying to say sorry to Johnny Gargano.
Way too late for apologies now.
Ciampa pleading for some mercy.
But he will get no mercy. Gargano not even looking at the referee for the count. Yelling at Ciampa, you did this. Gargano just wants to destroy Ciampa. While it is for the NXT Championship, it's...
Johnny, I'm sorry. Johnny, please, I'm sorry. Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Johnny, I'm sorry. One, two, three.
The message for Tommaso Ciampa is that Johnny Gargano... Well, holy count is up to 6. Ciampa getting backed up to his feet. Still down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Moment of truth for Johnny Gargano. He's exposed his knee. And Tommaso Ciampa, your apology falling off your hand. Oh my God! Gargano delivering the knee, but then wiping himself out.
1.
Talk about a Pyrrhic move for Johnny Gargano. The referee counting.
3.
Both men are down.
4.
Unbelievable. The ref is up to a count of 5, make it 6 for the NXT Championship. Can Gargano get up to his feet first? He's injured his knee. Ciampa's still down. Referee is up to 9. Oh, Ciampa's up. Ciampa's out. Oh, Ciampa's on his feet. Ciampa was on his feet. Ciampa survived.
Your winner, and still NXT Champion, Tommaso Ciampa.
And in what Johnny Gargano thought was his pièce de résistance, the running knee strike, he heard his knee trying to deliver the final blow to Tommaso Ciampa, and that did not allow Gargano to get back up to his feet. And after all we have witnessed, Tommaso Ciampa is the last man standing and still NXT champion. Johnny Gargano is hurt.
As we take a look back at some of this brutality, Gargano getting a sense of retribution, hitting the same move that Ciampa used to beat him.
I just can't believe that the length that these two competitors went to just be so brutal and devastating to each other. I just can't imagine. Look at this.
We saw brutality, the likes of which.
And this right here, this running knee.
And guys, I'm now being told that Johnny Gargano may have dislocated his knee. Oh my God. Talk about adding injury to insult, Nigel. If the reports are true, Johnny Gargano may have just dislocated his knee.
Certainly would have made it impossible for Gargano to stand. What an incredible match.
And after a brutal last man standing match, Tommaso Ciampa remains your NXT champion, and I don't want to take away anything from his victory, but there is concern for the welfare of Johnny Gargano. guys, I hate to say it, but it had to end like this.
He certainly knew what both of these men were willing to do to secure a victory.
Forget about the physical toll. What about the psychological toll on both of these superstars? Unsanctioned fight, street fight, and now a last man standing match that, well, results in Johnny Gargano being unable to stand, period.
These are the sort of experiences that stay with you for the rest of your life.
I got no love for Tommaso Ciampa. My heart goes out to Johnny Gargano. It's been almost 2 years dealing with this situation with Tommaso Ciampa. And to have it all come down to end like this?
Tommaso Ciampa said there is no boundaries, no limits. He is writing his own legacy. He is carrying NXT along for the ride, and say what you will about his vicious and intemperate disposition. A man who is rotten to his very marrow, also happens to be one of the toughest superstars you will ever encounter. Tommaso Ciampa survives the last man standing match, remains NXT champion, but what about the future of Johnny Gargano? As an announcer, you want to remain biased, but Nigel, as a fan, it breaks your heart to see Johnny Gargano like this. But what did we expect?
Absolutely. We knew what both these men were capable of, what they were willing to do, and unfortunately, we got to see it tonight.